some summer deliciousness. That's what we're getting together, some summer deliciousness. So we're gonna start with my absolute favorite. It's zucchini hummus. And so hummus traditionally is made with chickpeas, tahini, garlic, lemon, olive oil, maybe a few other things. But this time we're gonna change out the chickpeas and we're gonna put zucchini in its place. And so it does not have chickpeas in it. So zucchini is the bulk of it. So I did get started already.
Is it hot?
Nope. So these are our zucchini slices. So I just cut them in like 2-inch pieces and then cut them in half. The zucchini that I cut into little 2-inch pieces and sliced in half. And then I added some olive oil, a little of the fresh cracked pepper, and some salt. So tidbit about zucchini. If you cook zucchini, like if you're grilling it and you don't particularly love it because it gets soggy, one way that you can remove some of the liquid, because there's a lot of water in zucchini, cut it either like this or in rounds or however you like to cut it in little like boats, and put it on a napkin or a paper towel and sprinkle it with salt. And the salt pulls the fluid out so that whenever you grill or cook the zucchini, it stays together more. It doesn't get mushy.
That same trick works for eggplant too.
Yes.
Before I roast eggplant, I'll let it sit for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, so I'll do, depending on, sometimes I'll let it sit overnight.
That's a great
That's
tip,
just more because I'm lazy.
I always have, like, I love it, but it always is a little soggy. And
So you have to, I mean, if you want to like eat it and it have still its substance and not just kind of fall apart.
And you can see the beads on top.
Oh yeah,
just
and
like...
so then I'll take a towel and just kind of press it all down and get all the water off. Okay, so for this recipe, we're gonna go ahead and put our zucchini, we're gonna blend it all up. So we're gonna put it, we might have to do this in 2 batches.
I might have it bigger. Let's see. Slightly bigger.
Okay, that'll work.
Ooh.
I'll sous chef. Here, I'll take it.
It's very ASMR-like.
Yeah, like crashing.
Okay, so we're gonna just go with all of our zucchini in here. Everything else should kind of fall around it.
How many zucchinis are there?
So this one is, I cut up 3. Depending on the size, it can be anywhere from like 2 to 5. I'm gonna shove that in there. So we're gonna put a tablespoon of olive oil.
Olive oil is one of the good oils?
Olive oil and avocado oil are the good oils. That's what I would use in here.
Okay.
We're gonna do a teaspoon of salt, and by teaspoon, I mean this much. And we're gonna do a half of a teaspoon of pepper, and that just means this much. So I've already put a little bit on here. So
that's some thick salt too.
Then we're gonna put tahini. So if you're not familiar with tahini, tahini is ground sesame seeds. So it looks, this is a little watery.
Like sesame butter, kind of?
Yeah, it's like peanuts make peanut butter, sesame seeds make tahini. I don't know why we don't call it sesame seed butter. The only ingredient in here is ground toasted sesame seeds and salt.
So, but sesame seed oil is bad.
So 1/3 cup.
Right? Was that one of the ones? Seed oil.
Yeah.
I've never had sesame oil. Can you oil
Can it
sesame?
oil? Will it oil?
Yes. Yes, that's what's used a lot of times in
Sesame
Asian
oil,
cooking, yeah.
obviously. I have some in my pantry.
I finished my bottle the other day. Okay,
What did you say?
I finished the bottle that I had.
I thought you said something about cleaning out my bowel the other day. I was like, it flushed out my bowel the other day. It might also do that.
Maybe. I've not tried it. I'm going to add in some garlic. So the recipe calls for 4, but I'm a rebel and putting in
There's never too much garlic.
5. And then the last thing that we'll add in here is some lemon. So I like to use fresh lemon. This is my most favorite lemon juicer. This one's a lime juicer, but I'm going to use it for lemon. So the recipe calls for a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. And I'm going to do 1 whole lemon because, again, I'm a rebel in the kitchen.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with extra lemon and extra garlic.
Yeah. So, and this, I mean...
If Daphne ever starts her own cooking show, it'll be called Rebel in the Kitchen.
The unconventional rebel kitchen.
Yes. So something along those lines. So we're gonna screw this on. It's been a minute since I've used a NutriBullet, but I do need to shake it up a little bit.
A little shake.
Little shakeroo.
Oh my God, it looks so good already.
So, fun fact, I used to say, I'll literally put anything in a blender. And that's what Sherry always, so she was like, if you ever have a cooking show, it'll be named, I'll put anything in a blender. Okay, so that's pretty much it. It's all blended. And then we're going to just put this in a bowl. So we do this a lot. In, like in the summer, we almost always have this in my refrigerator. And we take this to pool parties. We use it as a spread. We eat it just with, with carrots or with cucumbers or chips, whatever. We don't usually keep chips, but crackers maybe. Anyway.
I didn't even see that used like on a sandwich.
Yeah, just like on a wrap or a sandwich.
Oh my God, so good.
So it's good now. We're gonna put it in the refrigerator, and after a couple of hours, it's even better. So that is our zucchini hummus.
That was so easy.
So easy.
And refreshing.
Yeah.
It's really got a like refreshing taste. I think it's the lemon maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the blade.
So you want to taste with a carrot?
Heck yeah. Oh my God.
So good. It like says summer.
This is now my favorite recipe. I make this every summer. What I normally use is cherries. I spend the summer in Michigan and cherries are they grow there. Traverse City has a cherry festival. So I use that instead of pomegranates, but I got pomegranates today.
So right now you have...
It's a peach lime honey salad is basically what I call it. So the base is peaches, the dressing is honey lime, and you can throw in any sort of berries.
Okay.
Basically just color contrast.
So we're doing blueberries, blackberries, pomegranate Ariels. That's what they're called.
Is that what they're called?
That's what they're called. And I think I'm saying that right. And then you'll do the lime honey dressing.
I just kind of drizzle it over. So I probably should have cut these peaches beforehand, but that's okay. So I wedge them and throw them in.
There we go.
It kind of hurts to pull out the...
So these are just cut in wedges. You wouldn't cut these smaller. Like, I would think that you might want to cut it just a little bit smaller.
It would be easier to eat smaller, but it's pretty.
Okay.
So we're just gonna do aesthetics for today. But yes, like if you're, it might be easier to eat.
So I went to Atlanta Memorial Day weekend, and we went to the farmer's market, and they had a line of people waiting for the Georgia peaches.
Oh, I bet.
Were so good.
I actually don't know where these peaches are originating from, but I know I got them at Whole Foods.
They are Jackie's Kitchen
Yes.
peaches.
So I went to North Carolina recently, and okay, so it's Georgia.
North Carolina's right above Georgia.
I went through a town and the water tower was shaped like a peach, but it wasn't Georgia. So I thought it was kind of curious, but it was very cute. It reminded me of James and the Giant Peach. Did you ever watch that movie?
I didn't, but I know what you're talking about. So the beautiful thing about these peaches is that obviously they're peaches, but they have such a pretty, the contrast between the flesh, like the orangey flesh or peachy flesh, and the skin is more of like a reddish color.
Yeah, when this salad comes together, it's beautiful.
Peaches are pretty good.
Yeah. And I like when they're hard, like they're not overly mushy.
Yeah.
See, I like when they're like
Super mushy.
they just melt in your mouth.
Yeah. I don't normally cut them up. I usually just eat it like an apple, and
Same.
I like whenever it's dripping down the chin.
That's when you know they're.
Yeah. You have to eat it over a sink. You know it's good.
Yeah. It reminds me of my childhood.
Yeah.
Eating over a sink?
Yeah. No, eating like a whole peach.
Yeah. It reminds me of yesterday.
What was yesterday?
Ate a whole peach.
Oh. Stone fruits.
Stone fruits.
Love a stone fruit. Sorry, I'm like...
Yeah, every time I'm like, whoa.
You're getting awfully close to the edge of this.
Stabbed by Jackie.
If we've learned anything, if she's holding anything, even a mic, she'll be waving it around.
My husband calls me his clumsy puppy because I'm just like always falling or like breaking something. In fact, he just put a new screen protector on my phone the other day. I mean, it's been 3 weeks and I just crashed it. So he had to put a new one on yesterday. He's like, oh my God. All right. So basically.
That's an expensive monthly item.
No, like the little filmy, like it's $10 or whatever.
Gotcha.
Okay. So that's our base.
Yep.
The peaches. Then about a cup of blueberries.
Mm-hmm. So when we talk about eat the colors of the rainbow, this is definitely fulfilling that.
This is really
Blueberries
pretty.
are massive. I picked blueberries the
They're
other day,
huge.
too.
Did you?
Oh my gosh.
You picked blueberries?
Mm-hmm.
Where at?
A friend of mine has blueberry bushes in her yard. So
That's cool.
I have blueberry bushes, but they're very small. They're not ready.
Yeah, mine aren't producing
But I
yet.
do have blackberries. But they're not sweet yet. They're kind of sour.
Blackberries are massive.
Also huge.
Are they real?
They're real and they're organic.
I'm going to taste one, make sure it's good.
So, like I said, I spend my summer in Michigan.
They're so juicy.
Daphne's going to eat the whole thing before it's even.
I am.
This one's still got a pit on it. We spend our summers in Michigan. My husband is a Yankee. And so that's where he's from. And they have all these you-pick farms where you can go and you just get a bucket and you fill it up and you pay by the bucket.
Yeah.
And we pick cherries every summer.
Oh, yum.
And so instead of pomegranates, I normally have cherries.
Yeah.
But
This is beautiful.
I just got pomegranates because it was easier than pitting a bunch of cherries.
Almost the same color.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It looks like the pits of cherries.
Right. So it is beautiful.
Then this is from my garden, this basil. So I'm gonna julienne. Is that what you
Oh, no.
I'll just call it ribbons.
the smell of basil. I'm actually not gonna professionally julienne it. I'm gonna rough chop
Professionally julienne it.
because I'm pretty sure I'm going in the wrong direction to be considered a julienne.
Yeah. I'd call it ribbons. I'm going to
you
cut them in
go.
ribbons so that they're long and slender.
I'm gonna cut it in green sprinkles.
She's just going to cut it until it's small enough to put in the bowl.
Exactly. Try to take out the stems so we're not chewing that.
So this has the orangey, peachy, I don't know why I want to call a peach an orange color whenever there's clearly a color called peach. But
Yeah.
it's a peach color. You've got like the little orange skin. We've got the blueberries, the blackberries. Now we're going to have the green basil. You know what I bet you could also put in here is mint. I bet mint would go really well.
Mint would go well. And I think whenever we were talking about it, originally I did say it's mint, and then I realized later that it wasn't mint. It's probably too much honey. Sorry, dietitian.
Wait, you said
So-
mint on the episode?
Whenever Daphne and I were talking about what recipes we were going to use, I said
correct.
it's a fruit salad and it has mint in it. And then afterwards I was like, it doesn't have mint, it has basil in it.
But mint would be really good.
Mint
It
would be.
serve the same purpose. It would just be a little
Really
different.
any fresh herb.
Yeah.
Maybe not cilantro.
Ugh.
I mean, I love cilantro, but on a fruit salad, I don't think.
Yeah.
Cilantro is the grossest.
Cilantro.
And
Anyone that says cilantro.
believes it tastes like cilantro. Wait, so isn't there a genetic
Yes.
thing where to some people it tastes like soap?
Yep.
I have heard
That's
that.
great. I must be one of those. But
Obviously.
That's crazy that that's a real thing.
So I just drizzled a whole lime and a bunch of raw honey, local honey. I might have put too much, but that's okay.
It's okay.
And then a little bit of basil. I mean, look at it. That was kind of a big chunk. Let's check that out.
Beautiful.
It's so pretty. And
So it's pretty,
so
and then
yummy.
so this is something that because of the type of fruit you have in there, it can stay in the refrigerator for several days.
Yeah.
And you can kind of eat on it as you go. Versus if you have something like a fruit salad that has bananas or something.
Oh, it's so
it gets
mushy.
kinda mushy. So
Yeah.
but all of these fruits will stay pretty firm and
Oh, I didn't
edible
even
for
think
a
about
while.
that.
Yeah, I usually put it in the fridge and it lasts for like 3 days, 3
Yeah.
4 days.
For
it
something
doesn't
like this,
last
was
because I
gonna
eat
say,
it.
Something like this is probably not going to last because, not because it goes bad, but because you're just going to eat it.
Eat it. Yeah. I mean, I pretty much make this consistently. Like I always have some in the fridge during the summer.
Yeah.
Do you want to taste it?
Sure. Do we need to toss it? Or not really?
Probably. But I hate to mess up the beautifulness. Okay. The beauty. Sorry, Dustin. Might even be prettier once you toss it.
Yeah. It is beautiful.
There you go.
Are we just going to eat out of the bowl?
Let's do it. We're all friends here.
That honey is good. Okay, so next we have what I like to call the Fiesta Black Bean Salad. Fiesta because it's like a party in your mouth. Okay, so we're gonna start with, we have an orange bell pepper, a yellow bell pepper. So we're supposed to have poblano peppers, but instead of poblanos, I just did some good old fashioned jalapenos because I like spice. I don't think they're super spicy. They didn't burn my fingers when I cut them, so they're not that bad. And then we're gonna add, again, this is a lot of color, add some cherry tomatoes, which I did not get these from the farmer's market, unfortunately, and some purple onion. So I'm gonna show you a cool way to cut bell pepper. So we're gonna cut the bottom off, cut the top off so that you can see through it. And then you can take the tip of your knife. And so we've got like an open space here. We're gonna cut just the little membrane. Yes, that's a good word for it. I was gonna call it, I don't know what I was gonna call it. And so that comes out. Then I'm just gonna knock these seeds in the sink. And then we can cut this open and
It's genius.
we can cut it into little bitty strips. So the important thing about this salad, so this is a black bean salad, and we want to make the size of the things that we're cutting similar to the size of the black beans. So we want to make them as uniform as possible, and that's what makes this really go well.
So like everything, you can get into one scoop.
So
Unlike my peaches.
So now that we have these cut into strips like this, we can dice it into about the size of the black beans. It's literally canned black beans. I did not cook these in a slow cooker or whatever. I would, but I didn't for this. Canned black beans.
For shame.
Of all the things that you can buy canned, beans are the thing that I'm totally fine with. I just rinse them, like I put them in a colander and rinsed them, and so they have all the juice out of it.
One of my favorite things is hearing the things Daphne is okay with us doing. And so anytime I can hear it's okay to buy beans in a can, I get excited.
It's okay to buy beans in a can. So we're just gonna put all of this together.
Are you using the butts?
Of course.
Okay, good. You know what I've done so many times?
Oh.
I have saved the seeds in the bell peppers, put them in a little damp napkin, created seedlings, and then never planted them. I've done this
how did that work out for you?
almost every time. I'm like, I'm going to start a bell pepper garden because we go through bell peppers.
I know, right?
And
so we actually do have a bell pepper garden at my in-laws that my husband is tending to.
Oh, nice.
Not in this exact moment. But.
Okay.
Okay, so I am now going to cut up the jalapenos. Same concept. We want to cut them in small enough chunks. And actually with jalapenos, you might want to cut them even a little bit smaller. Like I said, I don't think these are super spicy. But
Yeah, I don't want like a square inch jalapeno, I don't think.
So I'll dice these a little bit smaller. But typically in this recipe, I would use a poblano pepper and
It's a little bit
roast it.
smokier, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit smokier. Normally they're roasted, so I normally would roast it. And by roast it, I mean just kind of put it in the oven and let it kind of brown a little bit.
You can also just set it on the stove. That's another
So
way.
you can, yes,
If you
roast
have
it
a
with tongs,
fire.
like on a, right, I have an electric stove, so I cannot do that. So, but that
I'm
is
intimidated by that. I see a lot of chefs do that on the...
Oh, yeah.
we do that whenever I
TV.
do my, on the tube, whenever I have my cooking classes at the Red Stick Spice.
Oh, yeah.
They have gas. And
That's
so we do
that's
it.
how I do my tortillas. Throw a tortilla on the stove.
Oh.
So we are going to do the same thing with an onion. I did not cut this onion in a way that a chef would be proud of.
The chefs would not be proud of anything that's happening on this side of the kitchen.
You're likely right. But we are going to do it in, again, small. This is what happens when you put a lefty and a righty cutting at the same time.
Just like elbowing each other.
These little small, tiny bite-sized pieces, just simply because, again, with purple onion, you don't want to cut in, you don't want to have a big chunk of it. You just want it to be a little bitty tiny.
Just to reiterate, we are not chefs.
But we are having fun in the kitchen.
We're home cooks. And we know how to eat.
That's right.
Are we doing tomatoes? Do you want me to
Yep.
cut some tomatoes?
Yes. So I usually like to do them kind of long ways, you know, like diagonal, because it makes them look fancy.
Okay, so like this?
Yeah.
What do you want me to do after I have it sliced? Are we going like...
You can slice them smaller if you want. Look, let's put this right here. Or I usually just do them in half. That should be fine.
Okay, this looks so good.
Yeah, so we're gonna toss it all together. This is another one that when it's set for a little while, you know, it takes a little bit of time to let all the flavors meld together, but it's really, really delicious.
Yeah, this is another good like fridge recipe.
Yeah.
Is this the one the cilantro is going to go in?
This is what the cilantro.
During the summer, all I want is cold food. And I know that's something to do. What is that Indian food? I want to say ayahuasca.
That would not be it.
Ayurveda.
Ayurveda, yeah.
Where you eat seasonally.
Yeah.
I never knew anything about Ayurveda before, but when I found out that you eat cold food during the summer, like it made sense to
Can
me.
you explain that better for those of us listening?
I'm not well versed on Ayurveda, but it's basically you eat.
It's like a concept.
concept,
It's a concept of not just eating, but a concept of medicine.
Okay.
Where you're using food as medicine and you eat within the seasons.
Gotcha.
Okay, so for the dressing for this, we're going to use olive oil. The recipe is 1/4 cup of olive oil, but we're going to do a Daphne measure, which is just we're going to pour it in there like that. It's probably a little more than 1/4 cup.
Southern women measure with their soul. It's like the
Yeah.
ancestors tell them to
Yeah,
stop.
exactly. Balsamic vinegar. I probably should have shaken that before
and beans.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go with some fresh cracked black pepper. I'm a lover, like newfound over the past, I don't know, a couple of years, love some just fresh cracked black pepper.
Tastes way better.
Oh yeah. You can actually taste it. It's not just like
Versus
taking a
stale.
face. Right. And then I'm gonna throw in a little bit of
Thick salt.
thick salt.
It's that Celtic
Is it
gray.
Let's say, is it like kosher salt? Like
Celtic salt.
These were cut a little bit too big. Okay, so at this point, you can put cilantro if you want, which I have, and it's just a little bit, or we cannot put it in. So some people who don't like cilantro would probably prefer to not put it in.
for those of us who think it tastes like soap.
Maybe we can give Dustin a taste without
It can go either way.
cilantro.
Yeah, it can go
I
either
would
way.
love that.
Oh my gosh.
So it becomes just a beautiful
It's a
hodgepodge
rainbow.
of different. So it looks like a fiesta, doesn't it?
It does.
Because it's got the orange bell pepper, the yellow bell pepper, the green jalapeno or poblano pepper, the purple onion, and the red tomatoes.
So you don't even cook the beans. You just right out the can.
Well, to be clear, you're correct. We don't do anything to them, but the beans are already
They're already,
cooked.
you're right.
So, and this, again, is
Don't
gonna be
take raw
better.
beans and put them in here.
Yeah, exactly.
Hard,
you will be very sad. Very sad if you do that. Okay, so we've got our Fiesta Bean Salad here. Again, perfect for if you want something cold. It's a good cold side. If you want to make this more of a meal, you could chop up some chicken and throw some chicken in there.
It smells delicious.
Look at this. Honestly,
know,
between
right?
the three of these, this is all you need for a picnic.
I know, right? Perfect.
Protein.
And altogether,
So
to
beautiful.
prepare, it took like 25 minutes. for
Right.
3 different
Yeah,
things.
we've got 3 things here. So these are representative of summer. They're all screaming summer. Let's have some, I'm gonna try this hummus again. Screaming summer. And
Do you like that?
I love me some beans. You put beans in anything? Oh.
me too.
Hold on. I need to taste that. But I'm gonna sprinkle in some
Cilantro. You want some more before you put cilantro in it?
when it's so hot, I don't like to eat a lot
Yeah.
unless it's this kind of food.
Really, I never have that problem. I never not want to eat, ever.
When it's brutally hot, I just
No.
feel
I
yuck.
just change what I eat. Popsicles.
Yeah, I mean, but
and-
this, I can eat this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like I don't want,
You know,
heavy
I've always
food.
wondered, like, why whenever you go to a festival, do they have things like, I've thought this specifically about Jazz Fest, why are they serving like shrimp etouffee and like
Right.
this hot, Apparently someone's eating it because they're still selling it. But
Belly full of rice and
yeah. Okay, so I'm throwing in some fresh cilantro. You could put dried. I'm obviously measuring this.
with the soul.
With my
Obviously
soul.
measuring it.
With my soul.
I think I see what you mean now about the cool summer foods.
Yeah.
Because like I could eat this every day.
Yeah, and it just
Like-
it fills you up, but it doesn't make you feel full and
Ugh,
yucky.
yeah.
And then I can put a bathing suit on and not feel
Not
like,
feel
oh my
gross.
God.
So that's why these are perfect pool party foods, because they don't fill you up and feel like uncomfortable, you know?
Okay, my turn.
All right.
So what's your favorite part of summer besides, oh my God. So what's your favorite part of summer besides the summer food?
Besides eating?
Yeah.
My favorite part of summer, I think the longer days, kind of relaxed atmosphere, you know? Everything's just a little bit chill. It's the opposite of what happens in the winter whenever we've got the holidays and everything is like
So busy.
on fast pace. We kind of like put things on slower pace
Yeah.
in the summer. That's my favorite.
My kids don't really have a routine, which is nice. I wake up at 5 o'clock every morning during the school year just to get them ready for school, out the door, and I just get to slow down. It's quite nice, quite relaxing.
The time that I change doesn't wake up in the summer, but I don't feel as much pressure.
Yeah.
This is perfect.
So good. Thank you so much. I'm stealing these recipes this summer.
Of course, we'll post them, right?
He's checked out.
I'm having a great
He's got a full belly.
I'm doing great over here.
Is there anything else that we need to talk about?
What did you ask?
We're going to
We'll
post the recipes.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We'll just say that.
We'll post it.
We'll post the recipes in the show notes and let us know if you guys cook these.
Yeah. Let us know what you think. Or, you know, these are, I always think of recipe as like a suggestion.
Right.
This is like what you possibly could do with it. But if you wanted to do something
Do
else.
your own thing.
Yeah, do your own thing. Let us know.
Different berries. Use some cherries.
Yeah.
There's some raspberries in there.
Let us know what you like.
Bye, guys.
Peace out.